Hey, what's up? Thanks for hanging out with us today. We're just going to have a really good talk on emotion and perspective and navigating a lot of life that's happened over the last year. So I got my friends here with me. I have Nick and Nora and Reagan, and I appreciate them joining us today. They're some of the students here in the youth ministry. And so we're just going to take a few minutes and we're just going to dive into emotions and how students have been navigating emotions and some perspective on this last season of life. So are you guys ready?
Yes.
And man, what a year and plus it's been. I mean, I know we're now in 2021, which is kind of like the sequel to 2020. You know what I mean?
2020 part 2.
2020 part 2, exactly. Or, but have you guys noticed as well how like the term 2020 has become an adjective?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like we say that now, like that's so 2020, and it just bypassed the whole noun thing, and I don't know what that means when you graduate to adjective status. I think that means a whole new thing in life.
Oh yeah.
And so, but we're talking about it a little bit because obviously lots of life happened the last year to a bunch of us, and made us question all kinds of different things. A big question that's entered my life has been a preference with hand sanitizer.
Oh yeah.
And so my first thought is what flavor of hand sanitizer. Obviously, we're not eating the hand sanitizer. We don't want to do that. Not yet. Have we, Nick? Have we gone to this level now?
I plead the fifth. Okay.
You plead the fifth. All right, not
eating
anything. That's why we were hanging out earlier before. I was telling a pretty funny story about one of our daughter's water bottles smelling like hand sanitizer. I don't know what happened there, but it's sanitary now. But flavor, scent, I guess scent's the proper term.
Yes, there you
Scent
go.
of hand sanitizer. And so tell me, guys, if you had to pick what is the scent of choice for your hand sanitizer?
Personally.
Oh yeah, Nora, Nora's ready for this.
She was ready.
Nora, you strike me as but you strike me as the kind of person that has like the little keychain with your hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
Oh, tell us what kind of keychain as well. I love it. Tell me what kind of keychain.
I have a cow print keychain.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, but I like just the regular stuff.
Okay.
Like the strong smelling stuff.
Like the OG of hand
Yes.
sanitizer.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't like scents.
You don't like scents? Okay,
Nope.
I hear
That's
that.
really boring.
There we go. So, all right, what about you,
Personally,
Nick?
I love myself like some s'more.
Oh,
like,
come on.
Like toasted marshmallow.
Yes.
We got some like toasted marshmallow soap. It was whenever one of the new pastors came, and we got toasted marshmallow soap as like a welcoming gift.
Oh my goodness.
And that was so good. I still use it.
That's
the best.
I want some of that as well. Now that we're talking about it, in Bath and Body Works has made like choosing a soap an Olympic sport.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I appreciate them.
Like a whole aisle.
It is, and it's made it like a free spa day for my kids. You know what I mean? Like they think they're getting like the spa treatment if I take the girls to try all the hand sanitizers and all the other stuff like that. But Reagan, what about you?
Bath and Body Works has this really good smelling cupcake one.
Okay.
Really good.
Do you have a cupcake little holder for it as well? Or
I do not.
You need to get one of those.
They're slacking. Really.
Rachel, if you're watching this, Reagan wants one of the cupcake hand sanitizer holders. So we got that. And obviously another one that was an important choice of life during that season with more time at home. What was the go-to snack? You know what I mean? What was your snack of choice?
Okay, this is gonna be weird. A lot of my
Okay.
friends hate me for this, but I did.
We won't hate you though.
Yogurt, like Greek yogurt,
and
granola. Like
Oh,
mix
wow.
that together and just like it's like really chunky cereal.
Okay, that's also
Interesting.
surprisingly healthy and plain, Nick.
Yeah, I know.
And so,
I
okay,
try.
someone else give me Doritos or help me feel better about my life because mine was the gluten-free Oreos. For some reason,
You're really going to original flavored hand sanitizer for the better choice.
It's true. Hey, it's true. But Nora, I know she's got a good selection for us. So tell us.
I love raspberries dipped in Nutella.
Oh, there we
So
go.
good.
Nutella's like the big
Yes.
win.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Anything dipped in Nutella is
Definitely,
super
yeah.
good.
That's so good. All right, what about you, Reagan?
Mine was kind of like that. It was strawberries dipped in Nutella.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So
Yes.
Nutella.
See a trend.
I am seeing a trend there. So, like mine, I found the gluten-free Oreos, and for some reason, they worked out really bad for us though because one, no one else in my family liked them, so it left the whole thing for me to eat. And because they were gluten-free, I felt like they were a healthier option, and so I just kept on going. So here we are. So final fun question is: obviously you had more free time as well to probably watch TV, whatever. Was there a Disney Plus series that you just had to binge watch, or all right? So tell us, Reagan, what's the Disney Plus go-to?
Boy Meets World. I
Oh
watched
my
it all the
goodness,
time.
yes.
Yes.
Everything we've learned about life, we learned from Boy Meets World.
Yes.
So good. What about the rest of you guys?
I personally binge watched all of Hannah Montana
Okay.
2 times.
That way you could get the best of both worlds,
Yes.
right, Nora?
Yes.
That's important.
It
So
was iCarly for me.
iCarly,
I
there we
went
go.
back to the days.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
funny.
throwback there. So we watched a little bit like some of the dystopia fiction, and I'm like, why are we doing this to ourselves right now? You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know. But that was what 70 did. But of course, then the Marvel movies as well. And so
All
you
of
could
them,
put a lot of hours in. You could do the
Yeah.
Marvel movie thing. So.
For sure.
Super good. So let's talk for a minute, though, about the pandemic, things that have happened over it. Obviously, we had some fun a minute ago talk about some of those preferences. But for real, though, real talk for a second, what were some of your emotions maybe when it first started? And then as well, what were some of the feelings you had as you began to see life shift and change, So,
I personally dealt with a lot of anxiety
okay.
about like everything, like how the world was changing and like everything, everyone was saying something different. So it was like learning to trust like what God says, like about your life and stuff like that. So that was my personal biggest struggle.
Yeah, no, that's good. It's true.
What like messed with me the most whenever we first hit COVID in like last year's spring, was whenever my school kicked us all out. I just missed people mostly.
Yeah.
I'm just a big people person. That's what I missed the most, definitely.
Yeah. No, I hear that. What about you, Reagan?
At first, when they first canceled school, I was like, oh, it's nothing. We'll go back to school after a week. And then, I quickly realized everything was getting canceled and we wouldn't go back. And I definitely missed all my friends.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think a lot of us thought that it was just going to be like a 2-week break so we could catch up on The Boy Meets World on Disney Plus or whatever. And then we didn't realize how much it was going to affect life around us for that season. And I think you hit on it so good with the isolation as well.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to spill my drink here. Sorry about that, everybody. But it's like one of those things where what's the impact you've seen maybe on yourself or some of your friends with the isolation? Because that really is key. We're meant to be in relationship with people and spend time, especially I'm an extrovert, lots of you guys are extroverts as well.
Oh, yeah.
And so I know for me, I was like Ariel. I'm like, I want to be where the people are. But tell me though, what were some thoughts that you kind of noticed or stuff with that?
A lot of my friends just kind of all of us didn't really talk to each other because we don't text a lot. So I lost track of a lot of my friends once I got back to school, but I still have that main, the tight-knit group, the bros. But besides that, I lost a ton of friends. People just stopped talking to them over the summer.
Yeah, no, that's so true.
I mean, I kind of did the same thing. I lost a lot of friends and had a lot of friend group changes because, you don't see someone for so long, and it's you realize that they aren't, one of your closest friends because you aren't connecting with them. So it's, realizing that your friends aren't, maybe not be, your closest friends. So, rebuilding those bonds when you get back to school and be able to connect with people. So.
That's true.
Yeah, a lot of my friends, we just didn't talk to each other. And then a few months in, we're like, oh, we should probably catch up and see how's everybody doing. And then I noticed that when we got back to school, it was weird at first, but then I feel like we learned how to appreciate hanging out.
Okay, that's
and
good.
And so I feel like we hang out outside of school more often.
Gotcha. Super good. So I think another thing that was so significant to the season probably was disappointment.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many things that happen every year we're planning on, and I mean, all of us in life had things they're either annual events or big stuff, but what did it feel like? Maybe did you guys have something that was canceled or affected by COVID, and how did that feel? How did that affect you? How did it affect your friend groups? Whether it was, a sport thing or graduation or an event at school, what did that feel like a little bit?
So one thing that I look forward to this year was I'm in marching band.
Okay.
And we have competitions. We have 5 every year. And those are my main thing that I look forward to at the beginning of school. We didn't have those at all, so just in general, the band was just pretty much terrible this year because we had no motivation at all. So that's what kind of the main cancellation that impacted me.
Yeah, no, that is impactful.
Yeah.
Band director, if you're watching, you're still amazing. But no, I understand that. That really affects things a lot. What about you guys? Anything significant?
Church mainly, just not being able to come here and see everyone, be able to hear a sermon normally. So.
Wednesday night church and girls ministries.
Girls ministries took a big hit.
Yeah.
I auditioned for this theater class and I got into it. And the big part of it is that we tour the elementary schools.
Okay.
For Red Ribbon Week, and we did not get to do that at all this year.
Oh.
And so it was kind of disappointing.
Yeah. So that's hard stuff. So I'm sorry, guys. Those are hard things. We all had those different things that kind of didn't happen throughout the year that allowed disappointment to set in. I think one thing that you even hit on as well was talking about with adaptions of how church looked and felt during that season. So how are some things that has affected your walk with God? And it could be positive. It could be more challenging. I know even for myself, as such an extrovert, I love spending time around people and in worship and prayer. And I had to find my own self digging in a little bit, digging my feet in the ground more spiritually. That makes sense. So what were some things you saw in your own walk with Jesus that were impactful or made it more challenging? Good either way, because it's just part of what the season was for all of us.
I mean, I feel like I had to learn how to be able to like open my Bible
Yeah.
and do like a Bible study alone and not like just go to a sermon and hear a preacher preach or something. So it was just definitely finding my own ground on like
Yeah.
where I stand and stuff like that. So like not motivation, but like being able to make myself do it because it's like good for me and not just because I go to church. I
Yeah.
get that like feeling. So
Yeah, no, that's super good. I remember saying this to people around me. I said I had to live everything that I had preached. And what I mean, like I was always the person, I've been a youth pastor for a while. I would say, we're going to worship, but there's not music. We're going to, even if there's not, and church camp being canceled was a big thing for me because I love summer camp.
Oh yeah.
We at the end of camp every year we tell people it's not about the sound, it's not about the lights, it's not about the all the different stuff. And then when it's actually gone, you had to go back and realize, man, do I really believe these things that in the moment it's easy to stand up on the stage and say, it's not about this, it's not about that. But when it really isn't there, you have to really make a decision then.
Yeah.
Is it about
Yeah,
that or is
yeah.
it not about that? So
Yeah, I had to learn how to focus on God by myself and not depend on going to church and like, oh, they'll tell me to read this week or something like that. And something that helped is I started a journal.
okay.
So like
yeah.
if I read part of the Bible, I would write down what impacted me or like what I learned and what I could take away from it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's super good.
What I had to do, of course, was same as them, opening my Bible, just doing that as much as possible, forcing myself to do it. And I think that really helped because I was truthfully just getting super depressed from like not being able to see anybody, not being able to like hang out. And I think what helped me mostly was memorizing scripture on like love and hope and stuff like that.
Yeah. So no, that's super good. I think especially during that season, depression was such a reality for so many because, and it was kind of the perfect storm for you. Things being canceled, disappointment, spending lots of time inside, not as much activity. I mean, all the things they tell us, you can go down the list we were all experiencing all at once. And I don't know about for you guys or not, but for me, it was so interesting. Like I'm used to life having its ebb and flows, but someone's having a good day, someone's having a bad day kind of thing. But it seemed like so much life hit so many people at the same time.
Yeah.
Did that impact your groups around you? You know what I mean? Like you're used to, I have a good day, they have a bad day, they can kind of cheer me up, but it feels very different. When, so you guys want to speak to that kind of what it felt like to, it was a little bit harder to have someone to kind of pick you up and be like, we can do this when everyone feels kind of immersed in it together.
I mean, there are definitely days where like when we got back to school, everyone was still kind of shaken up, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So there's like friend groups like just started falling apart because everyone was just like so low, no one knew what to do and like how to act like nice and like kindly. And so I think that definitely played a big role. So
I noticed at school everybody's like, oh, I'm just over it. Like I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
And instead of the normal people being like, oh, you can do it, they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Because everybody just like stopped doing stuff.
Yeah, there was definitely
So-
just a complete loss of morale in
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think apathy as well. I think I saw people just become apathetic in so many different arenas of life, people, and even people that weren't apathetic. And so it seems like, and it becomes kind of hard to get back in the routine of it, and whether that's spiritual things or non-spiritual things, obviously Bible reading, stuff like that. But then, even non-spiritual things, it was hard to get back in that rhythm after life was thrown off for so long for people, really.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys sharing some perspective today. I think one kind of final thought would be this: if you guys are obviously here today, you kind of get to speak for your generation.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think exactly. And so what's maybe a closing thought about navigating the pandemic you would say, one, about your generation, but two, maybe to encourage people that want to walk beside you. Obviously, there's lots of amazing people out there that they love you guys, they love students, and they want to walk beside, or maybe as well, they have a teenager of their own, and they're not getting this kind of insight from their own teenager, but that parent or that grandparent or that teacher, they want to help that student, but they don't know how. So if you could kind of give an encouragement or kind of give perspective to everyone that does watch about what someone your generation would say, what would that be?
I mean, I feel like everyone's gotten so used to just saying, I'm fine, I'm okay. But
Yeah.
you need to like dig deeper, like ask them
That's so
questions
good.
about their day and stuff like that, because it's so easy to hide how you're actually feeling. And so many people are like dealing with anxiety and depression. So just like not keeping your conversations on like the basic level, like kind of
Yeah.
digging a little deeper.
Yeah, that's super good.
I feel like we should learn how to not let all those emotions during quarantine affect our relationships with other people. Because I
Yeah.
know that they've already affected other relationships. And there's some people that you just like don't want to lose. And you need to be
Yeah.
careful to keep that relationship.
That's super good.
one thing that my mom actually told me. It was a quote that I use daily now. It's
Yeah.
never settle on. It's just never settle. Basically, just like never settle on something that you don't enjoy or that you just don't want to live with it.
Yeah.
You know, you can go above that. You don't have to settle with like, oh, it's the new normal. You know, I personally just went above that and tried to enjoy it.
Gotcha. So that's super good. So awesome. Well, thanks today, guys, for coming to hang out for a little bit. And thanks for hopping on the video with us today. I hope that it gave you some perspective. I appreciate these students coming today and sharing and just giving some perspective on emotions and navigating everything in life around us right now. We hope that you have an amazing rest of your day.